It seems to me that you're talking about politically correctness. You mean this kind of feeling of anxiety that a lot of people feel because we all live now in this terrible crowdsourced panopticon, when you worry that any stray phrase that you use any stray phrase you utter might be used to defame you, right? And I think that a lot of people feel that anxiety. I disagree that that is something that is being solely kind of perpetrated against, insouciant kind of Oscar Wildean figures by a censorious left-wing horde, because it's coming from all directions, right? This phenomenon, which sucks, is all over the place. I mean, I get it when I write something critical of the way that the IDF behaved in Gaza. It's coming at everyone, and I think that there's a way in which, when it comes at a certain sort of figure and there's a certain set of complaints, and you feel unjustly criticized and you feel silenced, which again I think is really different than being silenced. You call it political correctness, and I would like the culture also to be more, freewheeling. I think one solution, you're not going to kind of get the left to they can't kind of put an end to this, because it is much more of a mob social media phenomenon than it is kind of some diktat coming up from on high. And so really the only way to break through it is to say what you say that you're afraid to say, right? I mean, that's the only way to sort of pop this bubble, or kind of end this anxiety, or at least diffuse it a little bit. Whereas, again, what I hear Mr. Peterson talking about as political correctness is something much more broad and much more much more fundamental to social change. And you're talking about, you want me to define, or one of us to talk about, when the left goes too far. And if I'm, I certainly don't want to be a woman putting words in your mouth, but if I hear you correctly, what you're saying is that you want me to kind of renounce Marxist categories, or to...
It's up to you. I just want you to do it. I want you to define when the left goes too far. You can do it any way you want.
Like I said, I think that the left goes too far when it is violent or censorious, when it tries to shut people down or no platform them, or when it acts violently. I'm not sure what you expect
Something
beyond
deeper.
that. Something deeper, how?
Yeah. Well, I'd like you to contend with the set of left-wing ideas that produced all the left-wing pathologies of the 20th century, and to define how you think standard left-wing thinking, which has a valuable place, goes too far, since it obviously does.
Has the right gone too far? Has the right gone too far?
Of course the right has gone too far.
Tell us how.
Well, how about Auschwitz?
I mean...
Well, I was talking about 20th century
right?
politics.
What else? More recently, what has gone wrong with the right?
Look, I don't like identity politics players at all. I don't care whether they're on the left or the right. I've been lecturing about right-wing extremism for 30 years. I'm no fan of the right, despite the fact that the left would like to paint me that way, because it's more convenient for them.
How has the right gone too far recently?
Well, where? It's threatening to go too far in identitarian Europe, that's for sure. It's gone too far in Charlottesville. It went too far in Norway. Like, how long a list do you want? And why am I required to produce that? To show you that I don't like the identitarian right?
I just thought I'd ask you.
I was actually asking you a question. So your assumption is somehow that I must be on the side of the right. It's like, look, the right hasn't occupied the humanities and the social sciences. It's as simple as that for me.